Well guys, I feel fooled, I feel tricked, I feel, dare I say, bamboozled. I thought it was fall. I really did. It was really cold at night. I was starting to turn off the AC and close the windows. I'm burning a pine cone candle as we speak. I've been rocking out to a lot of old school typo negative. I'm starting to incorporate more pumpkins in my decor. I even bought the pumpkin spice coffee mix from Trader Joe's and I've been drinking it every morning. But then today, of course, I felt the gusts of hot wind come in my windows and checked the temperature and it was like 86 degrees or some crap. And I have this beautiful gothy look and I have to pull out another white linen shirt. It's like, I mean, can I catch a break? It's my season. This is my time. I just want to not have the sweat mustache anymore. Beyond all the spooky things, beyond Halloween, I truly just want to stop sweating. That's really what this is. That's what this is all about. This is what it's always been about. Hi guys, my name is Lacey of Speakless and Fat Hips, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am finally bringing back my Gagged or GAG series. This is my take on the Will I Buy It style video that Samantha March started here on YouTube, and then so many others have adapted their type of a Will I Buy It series. My Gagged or GAG series started literally last December. I did it as a collab with Smoky Glow Hannah for Glow Mist, so that's how long ago it's been since I've done this type of video, and I've always wanted to bring it back, but I never get my shit together. We all know this about me. But I feel like holiday release time is here. Now's the time. This is the hour. And plus it's Sunday, so I had just watched like 5 other Will I Buy It videos, and I felt inspired to bring it back. So that's what we're doing today. I will say I do not plan on making this a weekly thing because I just can't commit to that. There's so much makeup that comes out on a weekly basis. And quite frankly, I'm not interested in talking about all of the makeup that comes out on a weekly basis. There's too much to cover. And I feel so mediocre about most of it. So the things that I picked to talk about today, we're going to be going through mostly trend mood and also indie mood and the indie mood spotlight. The things I'm picking to talk about are things that I have strong opinions on, whether it's positive or negative, or just things that I think are big deal releases in general. I'm not going to be including anything that I've already purchased and featured on my Instagram. So if you don't already follow me on my Instagram, which is also Speakless and Fat Hips, I tend to share the things that I'm buying as I buy them and as I test them out so I can get an idea of what people want videos on. So if it's on my Instagram and I've already talked about it, you know my opinion, I bought it. There's no debate there or no like, well, Lacey, but I already bought it. Other than that, I'm going to scoot to the side and put up photos. I'm going to try to not make this video 5 hours long, but there are absolutely no promises. I've been bookmarking things that I think are interesting to talk about on Instagram. And that's what we're gonna do. You guys know how these videos work. I don't need to explain it to you. You're all smart people. You know how the internet works. I will say, like I said, I don't plan on making this weekly, but I think either bi-weekly or monthly would be a really good pace for me, but let me know what you think. So right off the bat, this is something that I got a lot of tags in. This is the new Nomad Cosmetics Radioactive collection. Obviously, I'm focusing in on the palette. I think anyone who knows me knows that this video is going to be very palette heavy. I will say I was very tempted to get this because I like the Melt formula, but I just have so many rainbow palettes right now, and that's what this is. This is a neon rainbow palette. There's also liquid lipsticks and blushes, blah, blah, blah. But the palette's also $48, and if I can be perfectly honest, I don't want to pay $50 for this. I really don't. I don't think it's worth $50, and that I don't think it's going to add anything unique enough to my collection that would make me want to spend $50. I'm really, as time goes on, I'm finding myself wanting to spend less and less money on eyeshadow palettes because the market is so oversaturated and there are great palettes at lower price points now. So it's like, to me, this is luxury pricing and I don't kind of want to go there if it's not something totally unique and special to my collection. Maybe I could see myself being tempted during like a Sephora insider sale kind of 20% off situation, but even then I'm not really checking for it. I also did just get sent the new Kaleidos makeup Futurism palettes, and one of them looks very similar to the Radioactive palette to me, so I feel like I'm covered for neons in that aspect as well. The 3-tone blushes I find really appealing and interesting and beautiful, but I have way too many blushes. I just decluttered so many face products. I just don't need other blushes either. So this is pretty. This is something I would have bought probably 1 or 2 years ago. Not checking for it currently, that's just me. Next, I gotta talk about something else that I keep being tagged in and DM'd about. The new Norvina palettes, both Volume 1 and Volume 2. And I have this gut feeling that there will be more to come, just based off of the tempo of how frequently these are being released. But we'll talk about 1 and 2 for now because that's what exists right now. But in general, I could probably categorize this towards any future Norvina Pro palettes. I'm just not interested in these. It's almost like I want to be. There's something in my brain that wants me to be interested in these palettes, but they're so big. Again, they're very expensive and they're just very disjointed, which normally isn't like a auto no for me. I have a lot of palettes that are kind of jumbled and weird, but these I feel like I don't understand it in this setting as being a pro palette because I've seen edits of people who have made these in a gradient and have put these in a specific order, and the palettes become much more appealing to me when they're in that order. And it almost bums me out deeply that they weren't put in a gradient because that would make sense to me. That would be more appealing, and like I just would be more willing to want to collect them all in that sense too. But I'm just not feeling it. Also, I gotta be honest, I'm extremely disappointed with Anastasia Beverly Hills for whatever this is that they're doing right now in like these constant releases, these super expensive palettes. They're also, from what I understand, internet exclusive palettes, so you can't go to an Ulta or Sephora to buy these. I don't know, I'm just everything about the frequency of these releases, how large they are, how unorganized they are. I don't get it. It doesn't feel on brand for them. I always kind of held them to be higher standards than this. I don't know why this is like a very Colourpop-y move to me and I'm not into it. I don't think it works for them. It almost like cheapens the brand for me. I don't know if I'm being too harsh or not. I should say, like, obviously it comes, like, duh, everything in this video is my opinion, and if you feel differently, that's fine. It's just makeup. It's not that serious. But, like, from a consumer standpoint, I don't like this. And as they keep releasing these palettes, I keep getting more and more pissed off. Also, I feel like the Jackie palette was really, like, it's not being talked about anymore because why would it be? 2 giant Norvina palettes just came out. And I feel like that's kind of not fair to Jackie, but, you know, whatever, I guess. Something else that I got a lot of tags about, and if you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I was very conflicted on release day of this palette because I kept seeing different photos that made the palette look all kinds of different, and I couldn't decide if I liked the color story or not. So this is the Colourpop x Kathleen Lights So Jaded eyeshadow palette. I will say Colourpop has put out 2 or 3 other collections since launching this palette, which is why I keep saying ABH pulled a Colourpop in their Norvina palettes, but stick with me. I want this, but I'm also very confused by this at the same time. I don't like this trend of companies releasing giant palettes. There's a couple other brands I'm going to talk about who are doing the same thing. I thought we had geared away from the giant palette thing, and it seems that we're reverting back. I don't know if that's because makeup sales are probably down right now, if I could imagine. I like the color story of this palette a lot. I think a lot of people didn't. I really do. I love that bright burnt orange on the bottom. I love the blue that was chosen, the green, and like the lighter khaki color that goes with the green. I like the mustardy yellow. I'm kind of iffy about the pressed glitters because while I do love glitter currently, I get why this puts a lot of people off from this palette because they're not eye safe and use them at your own discretion. I like the packaging of this. This is one of the first times where I'm like, ooh, because I love that it's precious stones. I love the crystals on the top. I love that they're all named after stones. It's so like up my alley with all of the rocks behind me. I'm very into that. What puts me off, one, is the fact that I couldn't figure out what it looked like within all of the pictures released, but more so now, it's the $40 price tag. I don't like that for Colourpop. I feel like Colourpop needs to stay where they are and stick with like the more affordable pricing, even if it means at smaller products, if that makes sense. Because I think if they start to gear into high-end pricing, it's going to turn a lot of people off from the brand, and it's not going to help them for the frequency of their releases, because part of the reason why I think they get away with the frequency of their releases is because everything costs like $10 anyway. This being $40, I think I would have much preferred it at like $35. That to me I could have reasoned with, because this is more expensive than a Morphe palette, and it looks like a Morphe palette. And Colourpop is good quality to me, but I don't think it's $40 of palette quality. And I get that you're getting all of these shadows, but I don't care because it's about the overall cost in itself versus the value sometimes. And I think they should have priced it at around $35. That's my 2 cents. I don't know if you can use $5 off coupons on it. I don't think you can. If you can use a $5 off coupon and get it to $35, then cool. Sign me up. I'll probably honestly be holding out to see if this goes on sale, because all of their palettes and all of their collab palettes go on sale. So I do want this, I'm not gonna lie. I just don't want it for $40. Something not eyeshadow for 2 seconds. The Fenty Beauty Mini Gloss Bomb collection that's coming out for the holidays. I initially was like, oh, I'm buying this, and have since talked myself down from that kind of, because it's $42 for 5 lip glosses, and there's really only one that I want. I want the darker one. I already have Fussy, so like I don't need another Fussy, so that's a waste of my money. I'm hoping eventually they'll release all of these colors in full sizes so I can just get that darker one that I want, because I don't really care about the pink one. I don't care about the orange one. I want the darker color, and I know Nisa probably does too, because I love the Gloss Bomb formula, so I'm so excited for a darker gloss. I am a sucker for darker glosses. I should stick with Fenty for a second and talk about the other holiday things that have been teased from Fenty. So there is the Diamond Bomb 2 All Over Veil Highlighter in Hollow At Me. Because I didn't post this on Instagram, I'm going to be straight up, I already bought this. I immediately, the second it dropped, went on the Sephora website and bought this because I love that. My voice just cracked in a crazy way. I love the first Diamond Bomb highlighter. It is so beautiful. It's definitely not for everybody because it's just straight glitter on your cheeks, but the look that it creates is just so unique and so glowy and so like alien in like the best possible way. I actually have learned that I prefer it as a highlighter topper, and what I mean by that is I like to use a very clean metallic shade that's like also a silvery hue, and then use my finger to tap Diamond Bomb over top of it, and then like wet it really good with a setting spray, and it just looks like I'm here, I am a lighthouse, I will guide your ships to safety, I am ready for the world. Like, it's just the most gorgeous. I could keep raving about that highlighter all day. So when I saw that it was in another color and it was like a pink duochrome, which I'm so here for, and it almost in the swatches looks like it has a hint of gold to it too. I think having the silver one and then this one will make like a really good rounded little collection of highlighter toppers for me. And I'm just so excited. It's so beautiful. And then also they're releasing this liquid Diamond Bomb roll-on 3D glitter. That feels very kind of middle schooly to me, because didn't we have roll-on glitter in the same kind of type of packaging? What is on my window? There's a huge stink bug on my window, and I'm not here for this today. I'm dealing with you after this video. What was I saying? Roll-on glitter is a very millennial thing. Like a very early childhood, early 2000s thing. It's not for me personally. I think I'd rather go with the Diamond Bomb for all of my glitter needs. But I don't know, neither here nor there for me. So according to Trend Mood, a new Kat Von D palette has been spotted in Sephora's. This is the Lolita Por Vida eyeshadow palette, which includes 18 matte shades and shimmery shades and metallic finishes. Besides the obvious, Kat Von D as a person has been canceled for me, and I don't like the word canceled, but I'm using it in a very true sense of like, I'm not checking for her, I'm not promoting her, I'm using the makeup I already own from her quietly in the background, and that's what it is. I still, beyond all of that, I just don't think this looks exciting, and I don't know what happened to her brand. I really don't. I remember every year waiting for the Kat Von D holiday palette, and like being like Saint and Sinner to me was like the be all end all. I went to Sephora, it wasn't even on the shelf yet, but I had heard a rumor that they had it in the back, and if you asked for it they would give it to you, and I did that, and the women there were so excited and like got the palette for me and were like, yeah, we'll get it from the back for you. It was like the best day. And it was so beautiful, and it was such beautiful packaging, and everything about it was stunning and artistic and so Kat Von D. This is boring. This could be anybody. This could be a Morphe palette. It could be a Too Faced palette. And I don't know why, this is so petty, but aesthetically wise, there's those 3 like special shadows that seem to be in the palette that's very like in right now for brands to have like special shadows that are different textures. The fact that the 3 shades are off center and there's like that additional extra column of shadows on the edge is so off-putting to me because aesthetically it doesn't look pleasing. I wish they would have either taken a column of shadows away or added another one so those 3 shades could be center, but this just like is, I don't know, it's like, it's definitely the color of the Lolita lipstick, I get that, but I don't think it's interesting enough for the makeup market. It doesn't scream holiday release to me, and it definitely doesn't scream Kat Von D holiday release, and it's $50, and I wouldn't pay $50 for this because I just made a Colourpop custom palette that is these exact same tones and colors, and I guarantee you I paid a lot less for it. So Kat Von D continues to disappoint me. What else is new? Another brand with a reputation for disappointing me. Apparently this is available now. I've heard nobody talk about this like in a review sense. I've only heard people talk about this in a not gonna buy it sense. The Too Faced and Madonna collaboration. It looks like 2 sets of collections. There's like a nudie eyeshadow / cheek palette with a lip product and an eyeliner and a mascara. And then there's like a darker version with a darker lip. I'm not excited about this. I feel like I've seen no marketing towards this. I'm not like a diehard Madonna fan, so I'm not checking for it in that sense either. And I'm sick of Too Faced constantly doing these collections where they re-promote their own products because it's a Better Than Sex mascara. I can see that. Like, I don't know. I do like the Melted Matte Liquid lipsticks, but they're in colors that I feel like are even repetitive to their lines. And if you have a lot of Too Faced shadows, you have these colors already. Nothing about this besides Madonna on the cover screams Madonna to me. And I think if you would have gone with old school 80s Madonna, like a Virgin Madonna, that you could have done something really cool and even like appropriate for October and like bondagey and like dark and interesting. This is boring, and what the $75 each per collection? Absolutely no thank you on top of that as well. So that's a hard pass. I feel like this is so boring and such a wasted opportunity. Like, remember Madonna's sex book that was like such a big deal? Imagine doing a makeup line that was sultry and seductive based around like that book, let's say. Oh my god, how innovative would that have been? What a waste. Wasted on Too Faced. Madonna is wasted on Too Faced. There, I said it. More holiday releases. The Natasha Genoa Metropolis palette. I am struggling so hard with this palette because I want this palette. I want this palette badly, but I know I don't need this palette, and I know realistically I probably wouldn't reach for it a lot because the things I find interesting in this palette, I have so many other places. Obviously, my eyes immediately go to the greens, the yellow, and the blues. And I love the Natasha Genoa formula. The gold palette, dare I say, is my favorite eyeshadow palette in my collection. So I want more of those textured, beautiful, kind of creamy metallic shadows. And I love her mattes. But I'm just worried that there's too many neutrals for me to reach for this too often. But then on the same note, I'm like, wouldn't this be a really good going to work palette, which is important to me right now. So I don't know, I'm really on the fence. I like that it's the same, like, so $129 sucks, right? That's just her pricing. I like that it's smaller, it's more smaller pans as opposed to the traditional $129 format, because that's better for me. I'm never going to pan any of my eyeshadow palettes, probably ever. So to get more bang for my buck is really exciting to me. I don't know. This is another one that if I am going to get it, it's definitely going to be on the VIB sale. Like, I have to get that 20% off. I can't justify this at the full price, but I would be lying if I didn't say I want it. And I watched Teresa Zed's review on it, and Teresa was saying that she found that you have to use minimal shades, like 1 or 2 mattes and like go, which is exactly what's appealing about that to me. I love palettes like that where you can just kind of put 1 or 2 shades, put on a glitter on your lid, and like, God, that's so appealing to me. So I want it even more for that reason. I'm gonna try to hold out. I really don't want to pay full price for this, but I do think I want it. Something else so bougie and expensive that I want really badly is the new Viseart Grand Pro Volume 3 palette. I have the Grand Pro 1. Matt actually bought the Grand Pro 1 for me. It was on sale and I wanted it, and Matt was like, get it. And it was a magical day, and it's special to me for that reason. But I love that palette. I love Viseart mattes, and these are such beautiful colors, and it's in that formula that I know that I love, and it's that kind of bougie special treat thing, but it's almost $200. So I'm also like, do I buy this full price or do I wait till Muse Beauty Pro, the website, has their Viseart sales that they have every once in a while that makes Viseart worth buying? Honestly, wait for the sales is what my head tells me to do, but I love this. I know a lot of people aren't impressed by this and a lot of people are bored by this, but I love, specifically in the Pro 1, I love that everything is such a gradient. You can build such a beautiful eye, like a beautiful layered smoky eye. You can do that with this palette too, and it's in really gorgeous colors, not just basic browns. And it's so warm, whereas the Volume 1 skews cool. I want this. I really want this. I hate to admit it, but I want this so badly. Something that I was tempted by, the new Artist Couture Holiday Palette. I believe it's called the Midnight Maven Palette. I would have been very tempted by this if it wasn't for the fact that I just bought the new Nomad Cosmetics palette, and they're virtually identical, to the point where Trend Mood even did swatches on them both compared to each other, and there's so many duplicable shades in both of those. I don't know, I've only ever tried the loose highlighters from Artist Couture, and I like those. I haven't heard anything about this palette yet quality-wise. I might hold out for reviews, but I just don't think I'll get it because I would be making an eye look just like this, and I've done it already. You know, does that make sense? The Morphe 3503 palette. This to me is such a waste in that they only did 2 greens, because I actually really think it's a beautiful color story of these warm oranges and really bright pinks with those greens. I think had they had added a lot more greens plus those 2, I would be one of the few people not shit talking this palette and actually probably be very tempted by it. But because there's only 2 greens and because the rest of the reds and the pinks and the oranges are so repetitive, I want to pass, because I'm just like, I don't know, what is it? It's $25. $25 I will say is not bad for a palette, and there's like 8 bajillion codes in the world. Like, Morphe is stupid affordable. Whether or not they're the best quality or not, like, plot twist, they're not, despite what influencers want you to believe. It's like such a bummer to me that this wasn't like a smaller, more precise palette, because I really, Trend Mood has one specific set of swatches on her Instagram that if it was just that many shadows and that's all you got, and it was like a 12-pan palette, let's say, done, I probably would have got it by now, because Morphe has released some really fun 12-pan palettes in the past. But like, I don't know. Believe it or not, I have the 3501 and 2, because once upon a time, I believed the Morphe hype, which is why I speak so strongly against it now, having seen the light. But like, I just can't be bothered with Morphe anymore. I just can't. I keep buying their crap and only being mildly impressed by it. It's never anything where I'm like, yo, did you guys check out this Morphe palette? Because it fucks the game up. Nothing. Even like, and everyone told me that's what the James Charles palette was, that it was gonna fuck my game up, and it didn't. It so didn't, and I regret purchasing it. So because I still hold that regret from James Charles and all of the shade in the world that I have towards Morphe, I don't want this. It's so repetitive. Even seeing the swatches, I'm like, am I being pranked right now? Because the shades are so similar. I have to imagine on the eyes that like, you can't decipher them from each other. Like, I have to believe they're not distinctive enough to tell what you're wearing on your eyes in that palette. What a waste. If that would have been a 12-pan palette, because I gotta say I like the color story, but it's just such a waste. This is what, realistically, this color story of the bright pinks and oranges and the green should have been what the Too Faced Gingerbread Extra Spicy palette is. But the Gingerbread Extra Spicy palette is such a waste too. Don't get me started on the gingerbread palette, because I'll be here all day. Because I brought up the James Charles palette though, I should probably talk about the new Wet n Wild 40th anniversary palette. What is it even called? What is the, I just think it's called the Wet n Wild 40th anniversary. The 40 palette, that's what it's called. This looks like Morphe, and specifically the tea is that it looks like a direct ripoff of the James Charles palette. I don't get why they did that. First of all, I will say, everyone involved in this James Charles Wet n Wild scenario, I'm like disappointed in both parties. It's like, for one, James Charles doesn't surprise me when he does stuff like call out brands and send all of his stands to go attack them and blah blah blah. Like, I kind of expect that from him, though I was hoping after the last drama that he would kind of grow up a little bit, but he still seems to have a giant head on his shoulders. The fact that Wet n Wild was like clapping back and like admitted to it being a dupe and like all of this crap and like brought up the fact that his palette is private labeled, and like as much as it was amusing, I kind of was a little disappointed that Wet n Wild would go there. I think if they would have just ignored it, this all would have gone away. And also, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, they didn't even try to make this not look like the James Charles palette. And I feel like they could have just messed with the layout a little bit and maybe flipped the colors to the side instead of on the bottom. And no one would have really cared. It would have just looked like another rainbow palette. It is $20. That's a good price. Wet n Wild tends to be kind of hit and miss quality for me. Like their hits are like super ultra like amazing hits and their misses are, you know, misses. I don't know. I think the whole situation puts me off on this, on top of me personally not checking for rainbow palettes anymore because I have too many rainbow palettes and they're unexciting and I don't think they're interesting enough, and they're lazy because you're not curating a fun color story. So hard pass on the Wet n Wild palette, but the drama, while amusing, did disappoint me, I'm not gonna lie. Another rainbow palette on top of that. Makeup Revolution is collaborating with the drag queen Alexis Stone. Alexis Stone is also known for her crazy talented celebrity transformations, and they're collabing with Alexis Stone. I just think it's a weird partnership, I'm not gonna lie. Alexis Stone is very controversial. It's a beautiful gradient. It's a rainbow palette, but it's in that gradient that would probably make layering colorful eyeshadows very easy for beginners. But I'm just not checking for it. I don't really think Makeup Revolution has the best quality in the world. I feel like their quality is very much you get what you pay for. But am I the only person that just feels like this is a weird pairing? I don't know. That's just me. I think, again, this is something that I would have liked well before the colorful makeup market was as oversaturated as it is now. But now that I have so much colorful makeup, this is an easy pass for me. I don't know. The shade that Alexis did with the booty pick towards James Charles, has makeup just given up and we've all given up on being professional and brands have given up on like wanting to not have drama? Because I'm like, the drama sells, I get that, but holy crap, man. I want to talk about the Naked Honey collection. Even though I talked about it in an anti-haul, more stuff has come out. Like there's a whole Naked Honey collection now on top of this, just the eyeshadow palette. So let's see. First, it looks like there's a smaller eyeshadow palette. The Honey Pot set. It is an eyeshadow primer potion, a pencil, and then a travel sized honey scented all-nighter spray, and then a mini honey eyeshadow palette. This is kind of cute to me. I can see this being a really good gift set for the holidays. I don't really personally want anything in the set, but I think the set itself is cute. I like the honeybee on it. I like the whole honey. They're sticking really hard to the honey theme. I'm into that. There's also some lipsticks that are coming out. I'm not a stick lipstick person, so I can pass. I stopped using the primer potion, so I'm going to pass on the primer potion. And then there's all these other little gift sets, blah, blah, blah. I'm not here for the Urban Decay gift sets. I'm not here for any gift sets, I should say, because I have too much makeup. These are the kinds of things I will say, though, that I buy for other people in my life who are, like, mildly interested in makeup and trust me for, like, makeup advice or makeup recommendations. These are the kinds of things that I would buy for friends, for gifts, for Christmas, is these kind of gift sets, because I trust Urban Decay to not be crappy. Like the all-nighter setting spray, the primer potion, all of those things are good quality to me. So like, I get it. I want to reflect on the palette for a second because I anti-hauled this palette and I talked some shit about it, and now I'm having second thoughts, and I want to be very honest about that. I'm having second thoughts because having piped down from my whole like, this isn't actually a yellow palette kind of mentality that I was on, kind of understanding that this is a honey themed naked palette. It is the naked version of a yellow palette, let's say, and also seeing reviews on it and seeing swatches and looks that have been created with this. I want this now. I've 180'd. I actually really want this. I actually, as someone who collects the naked palettes, I think this has the opportunity to be like my favorite naked palette, to be the one that's most perfect for me, because I tend to go towards yellows a lot when I want like a naked look, or I want a more like neutral look. I like yellow as a neutral for me because I have dark brown eyes. I'm really tempted. The only thing is I don't ever like paying full price for a naked palette. So I might wait until I've accumulated enough Ulta points or until there's like a 20% off sale, because I still don't want to spend like 50 bucks on a naked palette because I don't reach for them often enough to justify the price. But I'm tempted and I wanted to be honest with you guys about it. And I would say anybody else who is tempted to, just check out the reviews because there have been some really good ones. And that's what has changed my mind, is the reviews. I got a lot of tags in this, so I'm going to talk about one additional Colourpop collection, the new Lilac You A Lot palette, and they also have those little bundles of products that are being sold with it. I'm tempted to get the Lilac palette because I think paired with the other purple palette, monochrome palette that they have, that would be like an unstoppable purple duo. But I just have so many Colourpop palettes right now. It's the point where I had to like rip through my Colourpop palettes and like pull out shades and like find the dupes within each other, and then I took them all of the single shadows and put them in their own Z palette, and then but donated or like gave to my friends the rest of the Colourpop shadows because they're just getting so repetitive and so ridiculous. All of that being said, I feel like I have Colourpop fatigue right now, but I'm tempted by this Lilac palette. I don't think I'm leaning towards getting it because the two lighter purples kind of look similar. The two lighter purple mattes, I should say, look similar enough. And all of the swatches of the purple metallic shadows look similar. I wish there would have been a little bit more variety within the metallics. I don't know. This is another one that I might not grab initially, but I would grab if there was like a palette sale on Colourpop. But that's about it. This is the first Colourpop palette release in a while besides the So Jaded palette that has caught my attention, but still not enough for me to drop everything and buy it. Like the green palette, the blue palette, the original purple palette, dropped everything to buy those palettes. I'm not doing that for the Lilac palette. It's only okay to me. It's something that I would throw in my cart if I needed free shipping kind of thing. Not a game changer. This is going on pre-order tomorrow. I'm filming this on the 22nd. It's going on pre-order on the 23rd. This is the new Strobe Cosmetics Arcana palette. I love everything about this palette. I love the color story. I love the stylistic choices. I love that it's Arcana. I love Arcana. I say Arcana. Arcana. Am I sounding like an idiot right now? I don't know. I love that it's such a grungy palette, and of course I love that it's the Strobe Cosmetics formula because that is such an ace, perfect eyeshadow palette formula. I've said before that their matte shadows are like if matte shadows were pudding. Like they're the pudding of eyeshadows. Stick with me on this because they're very heavy and dense and sticky. So when you put them on your eyes, they just stick where you want them to go, but because they're also that heavy, creamy formula, they glide and they blend so nicely. So this color story appeals to me so much. I want this palette so bad, I'm definitely pre-ordering it tomorrow. They also, from what I understand, Strobe Cosmetics is rebranding to Shroud Cosmetics. I get why they're doing it, but I'm hesitant about their rebranding because I don't feel like they needed it, and I feel like they have name recognition, and I just kind of feel the way I did when Makeup Monsters became Menagerie Cosmetics. I'm like, I wish they would have just stayed because I don't know. That's just me personally. The Shroud Cosmetics thing though does have this vampy, interesting thing to it, like this kind of like spookiness to it. So like I'm open to it. I definitely want this palette. That's my feelings though. Like this is like of the will I buy it. So this is like the one thing where I'm like, besides the Fenty highlighter, where I'm like done. It's purchased. I'm getting it. No questions asked. There was not a doubt in my mind that I was getting that. Something else that I really want, which I'm kind of like surprised that I want, but I do really badly. It's Likely Makeup, aka Jordy, who is a YouTuber and a makeup artist. She has her own brand and she's releasing this blush palette. I believe it's called, this is the Clown Blush Quad. And it's blushes that you can use as blushes or as eyeshadows. I want this so badly and I don't know why. It's not like I don't have these colors. It's not like I don't have every blush in the world. I just think that the packaging for this, the branding, that it's clown blush, I get that. It is so cute to me. I'm so like aesthetically pleased with this. I think that Jordy is so talented. She's someone where every makeup look she does, I'm like, oh my god. So like it makes sense for her because she does very heavy blush looks that like go over the whole cheek and up into the eye. I just think it's perfect and it's stunning. I love the variety of these colors. I think they're such beautiful choices for blushes / eyeshadows. I love everything about this. I want this so much. What is the price for this? $23 too is not bad at all. Maybe I'll pick this up too. I have some money coming in from AdSense, so thank you guys for that. That's all because of you guys. Maybe I'll get this with my AdSense. I really wanted this and I've been sitting on this for a while. I think I want to get this and try it out. I'm really excited to support Jordy too because I really like her as a person. This is something else that's been on my radar, but I don't know anything about this brand, so I'm kind of like reserved about it for that reason. Rebel Rouge Labs is releasing a palette based on the 90s. It's called the Losing My Religion palette, which I'm so here for because I fucking love REM. I love that reference. I loved going through their Instagram and checking out all of the inspirations for all of the colors that they chose. I want this, I think, more for the aesthetics than I do for the products themselves, if I'm being honest. I'm very tempted, though. I haven't just took a chance and bought from an indie brand in a while that I didn't at least know some bit of information about. This is really tempting to me, I'm not gonna lie. So if anyone of you guys has tried this brand and can speak to the quality of Rebel Rouge Labs, please let me know because I'm very curious, but I also don't want to waste my money. I'm very, very tempted. Very, very, very tempted. Nomad Cosmetics is coming out with 2 more palettes. They have the Lake Como palette and the Tuscany palette. I'm a big Nomad Cosmetics fan. One of their products is going to be in my favorites video coming up soon, so keep an eye out for that. I was a little tempted because I know I love Nomad Cosmetics to get these palettes, especially the blue one, but like checking myself and calming myself down, I know I have these colors, so I'm gonna pass on them. But I love the sizes of these palettes. I love that they're 9 pans, and I do like their color stories if I didn't already have them already. Like I said, if I didn't have these already, and if specifically in the blue one, if the shimmers didn't look so frosty to me, I'd probably be all over this. But I'm going to pass. $27 each I think is fair for the quality that you're getting. I don't know. It's just like a bummer because it's like I want this because I like the brand so much and because I have other palettes from them that I love so much. But I'm personally going to pass. I will say if you were curious about Nomad, I could definitely recommend their eyeshadows. So if these were things that you were interested in, like don't let me push you over the edge, but also know that they have my seal of approval. Finally, there are 3 palettes from Quinn Cosmetics that I want so badly it's not even funny. The first I had been tagged in a bunch of times, the Never Trust a Living palette, which is based off of Beetlejuice, obviously, and I had filmed the spooky makeup tag that Teresa had done that was started by Terry Kruger here. I haven't posted it yet, and I say in that video that I want a good Beetlejuice palette. This is so up my alley. I want this so badly. But again, I've never heard anything about this brand. And I just like, if anyone can tell me about the quality of these shadows, let me know. I'm so tempted. I'm also tempted by the 90s Baby palette. I think it's so cute and I want it so much. And also the Alien Queen palette. I mean, they're all neons more or less. I think I would maybe just get like the 90s Baby and Never Trust the Living. But also their Kush Queen palette looks good too. I'm really tempted by this brand. I haven't heard anything about them though. Dare I just place an order and hope for the best? Oh, they have a Ouija board palette too? It's like this brand was made for me. Oh my god. How much are their palettes? Because I'm kind of tempted to place a big order now. Ooh, I'm gonna have to browse their website and browse their prices or like wait for a sale even. I don't know. There's a pumpkin spice palette. Oh no. Guys, I'm struggling here. Branding wise, they are so cute and color story wise, I'm into it. Especially this Beetlejuice palette. Maybe I'll just get the Beetlejuice palette and see how that goes. I don't know. I know Teresa just said in a video that she has some Peachy Queen palettes that she's testing out. If Teresa okays their quality, I might go ahead and make like a chunky haul from this company because there are so many palettes I'm interested in right now. Oh my gosh. And there's really pretty eye looks on their Instagram, but again, this is one where I'm so tempted. Multiple palettes where I'm so tempted. If you guys know about these palettes, let me know. Please, I'm begging you. I've been filming for like an hour. I need to stop. And I feel like I didn't even hit everything that was on my list. So that's how I know I have to keep the series up because I could keep talking about makeup all day. But there's so much. There is so much makeup and I only have so much time and so little money. So here we go. If you like this video, if you like Will I Buy It style videos, and if you like me, please hit like and subscribe. Like I mentioned, you can also follow me on my Instagram, which is also Speak Lips and Fat Hips, to see what I'm up to when I'm not on YouTube and to see the things that I end up buying when I'm not on YouTube. And you can follow me on my Twitter at Spooky Lacey. All of that information will be down below. All of the makeup on my face will be linked below. Anything prevalent to this video will be linked down below, etc. You know how YouTube works. What new products are you excited for? What do you feel about the things I've talked about in this video? Is there anything I didn't talk about in this video that you want me to talk about next time in a Gagged or Gag? Please let me know. But other than that, that is all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys!